Hi, I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math, and today we're learning about systems of equations word problems.
Minute Math, when you need help you use Minute Math.
We're given this problem right here. The school that Lisa goes to is selling tickets to the annual talent show. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 4 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets for a total of $102. The school took in $126 on the second day by selling 7 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets. What is the price each of 1 senior citizen ticket and 1 student ticket? So we need to create some equations here. Okay, so let's look at the first one here. They told us that they sold 4 senior citizen tickets. 4 senior citizen tickets, we'll call that the C. So 4 senior citizen, C for citizen, plus 5 student tickets. And they sold that for a total of $102. They also told us that the school took in $126 by selling 7 senior citizen tickets, so C being the number of senior citizen tickets, and 5 student tickets, and again that gave us $126. So now we have a system of equations that we can use to solve, okay? So when I'm looking at this, I can eliminate this. I'm going to take this equation and put it underneath this one. 7c plus 5s equals 126. And I'm going to subtract the two equations. And I looked at that and said, hey, the variable s's will, if I subtract them, just cancel out. So let's look at the other ones. 4c minus 7c is a negative 3c. 102 minus 126 is a negative 24. We divide both sides by a negative 3, and c equals negative 24 divided by negative 3 is an 8. So we have $8 is the price of a senior citizen ticket. And I misspoke earlier, sorry about that. The variables represent the price of the ticket, not how many tickets. They already gave us that. So now we're going to find the price of a student ticket, okay? So what we're going to do is plug that 8 into this equation. We can pick any of them, I'm just going to pick this one, and solve for s. So 7 times 8 plus 5s equals 126. 7 times 8 is a 56 plus 5s, and I know my s's are weird. Subtract a 56 to both sides, and we have 5s equals 126 minus 56, which is a 70. Divide both sides by 5, and we have s by itself here, and 70 divided by 5 is 14. So $14 is the price of the student ticket. So there we have our answer. A student ticket costs $14 and the senior citizen ticket costs $8. We're given this problem right here. Flying with the wind, a plane went 183 kilometers per hour. Flying into the same wind, the plane only went 141 kilometers per hour. Find the speed of the plane in still air and the speed of the wind. So this one's actually fairly easy to set up if we know what we're doing. So we take the speed of the plane, okay? And when it's going with the wind's helping it go. So the average speed of the plane when it's no air is p. But if we add the wind speed plus w, being the wind speed, we get 183. Then they tell us 183 kilometers per hour. And they said the plane flying against the same wind, okay, going against the same wind, so we subtract the wind speed from it, equals 141 kilometers per hour. So now we have our systems of equations we can solve. So we're going to use elimination. I'm going to bring it over here. P minus W equals 141. And actually, we're just going to add these two equations. Okay? By adding them, the variable W will cancel, and we're left as, well, P plus P is 2P. Don't forget that. I bet you a lot of people will. But don't forget that part. And 183 plus 141 is a 324. Divide both sides by 2, and P equals 324 divided by 2, which is 169. And that's kilometers per hour. So the plane is traveling, its base speed is 162 kilometers per hour, which makes sense because it's between these two speeds, with the wind and against the wind. So we're going to take that information, plug it into our equation, and solve for W. So all I'm going to do is take the first equation again. I think it's an easier one to work with. P plus W equals 183. And I'm going to plug in this P value of 162 in for P. And let's solve for W. Subtract 162 to both sides. Not too bad. And W equals 183 minus 162, which is a 21. So 21 kilometers per hour is now also the speed of the wind. So there we have our final answer. The plane is traveling, or plane base speed is 162 kilometers per hour, and the wind speed is 21 kilometers per hour. We're given this problem right here. Castile and Gabriella are selling pies for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy apple pies and lemon meringue pies. Castile sold 6 apple pies and 4 lemon meringue pies, for a total of $80. Gabriella sold 6 apple pies and 5 lemon meringue pies, for a total of $94. What is the cost of 1 apple pie and 1 lemon meringue pie? Tasty. All right. So the first thing they tell us, Castile, he sold 6 apple pies and 4 lemon meringue pies. So we'll say A is apple pies and L is lemon meringue pies for the school fundraiser. And that gave a total of $80. Gabriella sold 6 apple pies and how many? 5 lemon meringue pies, for a total of $94. What's the price of each pie? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I can solve this by elimination. I'm going to bring this equation under this one. And sorry, we now have our system of equations here. We can solve. So we got that information out of the word problem. Now we can solve it. Got ahead of myself here. This is how we can do it. One of the methods is elimination. I'm now going to subtract the 2 equations. This eliminates the variable a. Okay? 6a minus 6a is 0. So 4l minus 5l is a negative 1l. 80 minus 94 is a negative 14. We'll divide both sides by a negative 1, and really l equals a positive. Here we have, in our context of our problem, $14, and that's the price of a lemon meringue pie. Meringue's weird to spell. Lemon meringue pie, we know now, is $14. So we're going to take that information then and find the price of an apple pie, and let's use our second equation here. We're going to plug 14 in for L. 6a plus 5 times 14 equals 94, and we're going to solve for a. 5 times 14 is 70, bring down to 6a, equals 94. Subtract 70 to both sides, not too bad, and 6a equals 94 minus 70, which comes out to be a 24. Divide 6 to both sides, and what do we have? A by itself here, let's put it here, A equals, and 24 divided by 6 comes out to be 4. Oof, 4. So 4 is the price of the apple pie. And so there we have our answer. The lemon meringue pie costs $14, and the apple pie costs $4. We're given this problem right here. The school that Amade goes to is selling tickets to the annual dance competition. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 3 child tickets, for a total of $69. The school took $91 on the second day by selling 5 senior citizen tickets and 3 child tickets. What is the price each of 1 senior citizen ticket and 1 child ticket? So we need to make an equation here, or 2 equations really. So the first day they tell us here, 3 senior citizen tickets and 3 child tickets. So S will stand for senior citizen tickets and C will stand for child tickets. And that is a total of $69. On the next day, the school took $91 by selling 5 senior citizen tickets and 3 child tickets. And again, that was a total of $91. Well, now we have 2 equations here, and we can now solve this system of equations. We'll solve by elimination. I'm going to take this equation, the second one, and put it underneath the first one. So 5s plus 3c equals $91. And by subtracting the 2 equations, okay, the c's are going to cancel, and that's kind of what I was looking for. 3s minus 5s is a negative 2s, okay, and 69 minus 91 is a negative 22. I divide both sides by a negative 2. Negatives cancel on the right, negative 2's cancel on the left, and s equals negative 22 divided by negative 2 is a positive 11. And so $11 is the price of a senior citizen ticket. So now we have to take that information and plug into one of our equations to solve for the price of the child ticket. So 11 goes in for this s here. Let's use the second equation here. And again, we can pick either equation, but this is nice and neat right now. 3c equals 91. 5 times 11 is 55, plus 3c equals 91. Subtract a 55 to both sides, and 3c equals 91 minus 55, which is a 36. Divide both sides by 3, and c equals 36 divided by 3, which is 12. That's $12. And that's the price of a child ticket. So there we have our final answer here. The price of a senior citizen ticket is $11, and the price of a child ticket is $12. We're given this problem right here. Ming and Carlos are selling cookie dough for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy packages of chocolate chip cookie dough and packages of gingerbread cookie dough. Ming sold 8 packages of chocolate chip cookie dough and 12 packages of gingerbread cookie dough for a total of $364. Carlos sold 1 package of chocolate chip cookie dough and 4 packages of gingerbread cookie dough for a total of $93. Find the cost each of 1 package of chocolate chip cookie dough and 1 package of gingerbread cookie dough. Long problem, make me hungry. So we need to make a system of equations here so we can solve that. So what do we get? Well, the first thing to tell us, they say Ming sold 8 packages of chocolate chip cookie dough. So I'm going to say he sold 8 packages, and the price of a chocolate chip cookie dough I'm going to represent as a variable C. Then they said he also sold 12 packages of gingerbread cookie dough, which I'll give a lot of cookie dough, but the variable G. And that came out to be a total of $364. Carlos, on the other hand, sold 1 chocolate chip cookie dough, so say 1, C, plus 4 packages of gingerbread, not as good of a seller, and that equals $93. Okay? So now we have actually our system of equations here, and we can solve that. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get C by itself first. I'm going to subtract a 4G to both sides, 4G, and I'll think about 5G now by saying that. That's what I get for saying 4G, but 4G, not 5G. And well, I'll just write C by itself, don't need the 1. And we have 93 minus 4G. They are not like terms, we can't combine them. But now I have C by itself. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take this value of 93 minus 4G and plug it in for that C. So we have 8 times 93 minus 4G plus 12G equals 364. And now I have enough information here. Well, I have an equation with just the variable G, so let's go solve for G. Distribute the 8 to both parts here, and 8 times 93 is 744. Bring out the big numbers. 8 times a negative 4G is a negative 32G, and then we have plus 12G equals 364. So again, let's go bring our like terms together. So I'm going to subtract a 744 to both sides. And so that cancels out here. I'm left with, well, 364 minus 744 is a negative 380. Negative 32G plus 12G is a negative 20G. Divide both sides by negative 20. And we have G by itself. And negative 380 divided by negative 20 is a positive 19. And so this G represents the price of the package of gingerbread cookie dough, which I don't think I've ever had. I don't know if I'd even like it, to be honest. But cookie dough. Okay? So $19 is the price of the gingerbread cookie dough. Well, now we have to find the price of the chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh, it's cookie dough. Put 19 in that G value of 19 into our equation here, and we'll solve for C. This part's easy. 93 minus 4 times 19. 93 minus 4 times 19 is 76, and my stomach's rumbling, meaning I'm getting hungry. And C equals 93 minus 76, which is $17. Okay, and that's the price of the chocolate chip cookie dough. So much writing. And there we have our final answer. The price of the package of gingerbread cookie dough is $19, and the price of the package of chocolate chip cookie dough is $17. We're given this problem right here. Kayla's school is selling tickets to the annual dance competition. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 5 child tickets for a total of $70. The school took in $216 on the second day by selling 12 senior citizen tickets and 12 child tickets. Find the price of a senior citizen ticket and the price of a child ticket. All right, so let's make a system of equations here. The first day, the school sold 3, and let's call S the senior citizen ticket. 3 senior citizen, the price of a senior citizen ticket, and they sold 5 child tickets, C being the price of a child ticket. That gave us a total of $70. On the second day, they sold 12 senior citizen tickets, and how many child tickets? 12 child tickets. And for a total price of $216. So now we have a system of equations we can solve. The first thing that kind of pops out to me actually is there's a 12 here, a 12 here, and then 216, I believe 12 goes in evenly, which it does. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. And that leaves me, it says be careful with this, but that leaves me with an 1s plus 1c equals 1216 divided by 12, which is 18. So what this is telling us, if we sold 1 senior citizen ticket and 1 child ticket, we would, school, make $18. And that's actually going to help us here. It just makes it a little easier to work with. So if I get the variable s by itself is 18 minus c, right, subtracting a c to both sides. And now I can substitute that in for this s here. And it's just smaller numbers to work with. You didn't have to do that step, but I'm doing it because I just think it's easier to work with. So we have 3 times 18 minus c plus 5c equals 70. And we're solving, so we'll distribute the 3 to the 18 and the c. 3 times 18 is 54. And 3 times 3 is, well, minus 3c plus 5c equals 70. I'm going to subtract a 54 to both sides. 54, Sean. Don't need that. Not 45. But 70 minus 54 is 16. Negative 3c plus 5c is a 2c. Divide both sides by 2. And c equals 16 divided by 2, which is 8. And 8 is the price of a child. $8 is the price of a child ticket. So let's go find the price of a senior citizen ticket. Luckily our equation's already set up, and it's pretty easy to work with here. We just take that 8, plug it in for c. So 18 minus 8 now. That's an easy problem. 18 minus 8 is a 10. And $10 is the price of a senior citizen ticket. So there we have our final answer. The price of a senior citizen ticket is $10 and the price of a child ticket is $8. We're given this problem right here. A plane traveled 580 miles to Ankara and back. The trip there was with the wind. It took 5 hours. The trip back was into the wind. The trip back took 10 hours. Find the speed of the plane in still air and the speed of the wind. Okay. Well, one thing we should know about distance, rate, and time is, and we have plenty of videos on that if you need help with those types of problems, but is distance equals rate times time. So let's use that in context of this problem. They said the plane traveled 580 miles, this trip there, and then 580 miles back. And on the way there, it was with the wind. So the speed of the plane in still air is represented as P, and it had the wind at its back, so it's with the wind plus the speed of the wind being W. So that's the rate, took a time of 5 hours. Now the same distance, 580, on the way back, the plane's going against the wind, so we have P minus W, but that took 10 hours. Alright? So now what we want to do is, well, we want to solve for our variables. We have our system of equations. The first thing I'm going to do is actually, let's get this a little easier. I'm going to divide both sides by 5 here, and this side, both sides by 10. So 580 divided by 5 is 116 equals, well, P plus W. And 580 divided by 10 is 58 equals P minus W. And so that's a little easier to work with to get our values. So I'm going to put them over each other. 58 equals P minus W, and I'm going to solve this actually by elimination. I'm going to add these two equations, and in doing so, the variable W is going to cancel. W minus plus and minus W is just 0. So 116 plus 58 is 174, and don't forget P plus P is 2P. And again, the W's cancel. Divide both sides by 2 here, and P is by itself, and 174 divided by 2 is an 87. Flipped it around there. So the plane is traveling 87 miles per hour. So again, 174 divided by 2 is 87. We then can take that information and we're going to plug it in for this P value to solve for W. And we can pick any of the original equations, but I'm choosing this. P is 87 minus W. I subtract an 87 to both sides, follow my standard rules here, and 58 minus 87 is a negative 29, or a negative W. Well, divide both sides by negative 1, cancels out. W, speed of the wind, is a positive 29, and that is miles per hour. So we have a final answer. The speed of the plane in still air, 87 miles per hour, and the speed of the wind is 29 miles per hour. We're given this problem right here. And Amanda and Nadaiva are selling flower bulbs for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy packages of tulip bulbs and bags of daffodil bulbs. Amanda sold 6 packages of tulip bulbs and 12 packages of daffodil bulbs for a total of $198. Nadaiva sold 7 packages of tulip bulbs and 6 packages of daffodil bulbs for a total of $172. Find the cost each of 1 package of tulips bulbs and 1 bag of daffodil bulbs. All right. So the first customer, right, they sold 6 packages here, 6 packages of tulips, and they sold 12 packages or bags of daffodils. So T would be the price of the tulip package of bulbs, and D is the bag of daffodil bulbs. And that gave a total of $198. They also sold 7 tulip bulbs, a packet of tulip bulbs. We don't know the prices, plus 6 daffodil ones. And that equals, they said, $127. Okay? So now we have our system of equations here. We need to solve that, right? To solve the system to find our answer. So what are we going to do? Well, I notice here 6D and 12D, they're pretty close. If I multiply this top one by 2, I'm going to get, well, I'll put the answer here. So 2 times 7t is a 14t. 2 times the 6d is a 12d. And then 2 times 127 is a 254. So I'm putting that right here. And I'm doing that because I can now solve this by elimination. If we subtract the 2, you can see on purpose that the 12s will cancel. So 6t minus 14t is a negative 8t. 12d minus 12d cancels. And don't forget the subtraction goes to everything. 198 minus 254 is a negative 56. Divide both sides by a negative 8. The negative 8s cancel, or the negatives cancel. Negative 8s cancel. Negatives cancel here. And t equals 56 divided by 8, which is 7. And so 7 is the price of the tulips. Bulbs. Or package of them. Alright? So now we're going to take that information and I'm going to plug it into this equation, and I'm going to do it without the multiplication of 2 because I think it's just easier. So we have 7 times the price of a tulip, which is 7, plus 6d equals 127. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 6d equals 127. Well, subtract 49 to both sides. 6d equals 127 minus 49. Well, that comes out to be a 78. Divide both sides by 6. A lot of steps here. And d by itself is 78 divided by 6, which is 13. And $13 is the price of daffodil bulbs. And how do you spell that? D-A-F-F-O-D-I-L, bulbs. All right. So there we have our final answer. The tulip bulbs package costs $7, and the bag of daffodil bulbs costs $13. We're given this problem right here. The local amusement park is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at High School A and their senior class at High School B both planned trips there. The senior class at High School A rented and filled 16 vans, 8 buses with 752 students. High School B rented and filled 5 vans and 5 buses with 380 students. Each van and each bus carried the same number of students. How many students can a van carry? How many students can a bus carry? So let's deal with High School A first. They say that they had 16 vans, so 16, and then V being the number in each van, plus they had 8 buses, so 8, and then variable B had a total of 752 students. The second high school had 5 vans and 5 buses, a much smaller high school, and 380 students. Okay? Well, we now have a system of equations here from a word problem we now can solve. What I notice here is actually 5 goes into all parts. So to make it a little easier for myself, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. That gives me a V plus B equals 380 divided by 5, which is 76. If I want to get V by itself, I subtract a B to both sides, and 76 minus B is equal to V. Alright. I'm now going to use substitution to solve the system of equations. I'm going to take the 76 minus B and plug it in for that B right here. So we have 16 times 76 minus B plus 8B equals 752. We distribute now the 16 to both parts. We're solving for B. We have an equation with one variable. We can solve for it. 16 times 76 is 1,216. 16 times a negative b is a negative 16b. We have 8b equals 752. We now want to, well, solve for b still. So we're going to subtract the 1,216 to both sides. And 752 minus 1,116 is a negative 464. Negative 16b plus 8b is a negative 8b. Divide both sides by a negative 8, And B equals negative 464 divided by negative 8, which is a positive 58. So 58 is how many students that bus can carry, or a bus can carry. So we're going to use that information to find how much are in a van. Well, luckily here it's easy. We plug 58 in for that B right here. So V equals 76 minus 58. And 76 minus 58 is 18. Oof, look at a different problem here. 18. So 18 students. Okay, 18 students is how many a van can fit, and 58 students is how many students fit in a bus. And that's our final answer. We're given this problem right here. The senior classes at High School A and High School B planned separate trips to New York City. The senior class at High School A rented and filled 16 vans and 5 buses with 417 students. High School B rented and filled 10 vans and 8 buses with 480 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. How many students can a van carry? How many students can a bus carry? So here, let's go set up some equations here. The first equation we have is for High School A. They said they filled up 16 vans and 5 buses. So V being the number of students in a van, B being the number of students in the bus, and that had a total of 417 students. High School B did 10 vans and 8 buses, and that had 480 students. So now we have 2 equations. We can solve this, right? Solve this system of equations to get our answer. So this one's actually, the way I'm going to go about this is a little different. I'm going to try to get in this second equation V by itself. So if I subtract an 8B to both sides, I'm left with a 10V equals 480 minus 8B. Divide both sides by 10, and V, the number of students in a van, is equal to, well, 480 divided by 10, which is 48, minus 8 divided by 10, which is 0.8B. All right, so we have our variable V equals 48 minus 0.8B there. And now we're going to use that and substitute it into for this V. Okay, so we have 16 here times 48 minus 0.8B plus 5B equals 417. Well, let's go distribute that over here. 16 times 48 is 768. Still in? We're good. Minus 16 times 0.8, which is a 12.8B, plus 5B equals 417. We now want to, well, again, keeps going, solve for B. I'm going to subtract a 768 to both sides here. And I'm left with, well, on the right-hand side, these cancel. 417 minus 768 is a negative 351. Negative 12.8B plus 5B is a negative 7.8B. Divide by negative 7.8, and don't be afraid of these decimals. It's the same process if they were just whole numbers or integers. And negative 7.8 cancels, so we have B equals negative 351 divided by negative 7.8, which comes out to be a 45. So that's the bus, right, has 45 students. So now we're going to take that information, plug it into this equation to solve for V. So V equals 48 minus 0.8 times 45. V equals 48 minus, well, 0.8 times 45 is a 36. And so V equals 48 minus 36, which is 12. And that's how much is in the van. How many students, right? So our final answer here is the bus has 45 students. I guess I should write students there. And the van has 12. Each van has 12 students. We're given this problem right here. The senior classes at High School A and High School B planned separate trips to the water park. The senior class at high school A rented and filled 14 vans and 16 buses with 1,086 students. High school B rented and filled 10 vans and 13 buses with 870 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. Alright, so let's go with the first high school A. High school A had 14 vans, and V being the number of students in a van, and they had 16 buses, and B being the number of students in each bus. And that had a 1,086 students. High school B had 10 vans, so 10 times V, the number of students in vans, plus 13 buses, again B, the number of students in each bus, equals 870 students. So now we want to find how many are in each. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get here this one actually V by itself. Subtract the 13B to both sides. And we're left with 10V equals 870 minus 13B. Divide both sides by 10. And V equals 870 divided by 10, which is an 87. And 13 divided by 10 is, negative 1.3B. And don't be afraid of the decimals. Just like a normal number, integer, just take your time with it. Okay? Same process still applies. So now we have V by itself here, and we're going to plug that into our second equation, and we're going to solve this by substitution, or actually our first equation. So 14 times that 87 minus 1.3b plus 16b equals 1,086. Distribute the 14 to both parts here. 14 times 87 is 1,218. And 14 times 1.3 is an 18.2. And we still have our b. Don't forget it's still minus though. Plus 16b equals 1,086. Let's combine our like terms. So I'm going to subtract a 1,218 to both sides. And that has, 1,086 minus 1,218 is a negative 132. Here we have negative 18.2b plus 16b is a negative 2.2. Divide both sides by a negative 2.2. And b equals, negative 132 divided by negative 2.2 is 60. And it's students. So our the buses here can fit 60 students. So now we have to find how many students fit in the vans. Well, we're going to take that 60 and plug it in for that V right there. V equals 87 minus 1.3 times 60, and let's solve for V here. V equals 87, and 1.3 minus 60 is a minus 78. 87 minus 78 is a 9, and it's students. So here we have our final answer. The van can hold 9 students, and each bus can hold 60 students. We're given this problem right here. Yellowstone National Park is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at High School A and the senior class at High School B both planned trips there. The senior class at High School A rented and filled 7 vans and 10 buses with 332 students. High School B rented and filled 4 vans and 15 buses with 459 students. Each van and each bus carried the same number of students. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. Okay. We gotta find some equations out of this word problem. Let's extract that information. The first part, High School A. They said they filled 7 vans. So 7 times V, V being the number of students in each van, plus 10 buses, B being the number of students in each bus, with 332 students. High School B rented and filled 4 vans and 15 buses for a total of 459 students. And again, V and B represent the number of students that can fit in each van and each bus. All right. Well, now we have our system of equations we can solve. I'm going to do this one by substitution. I'm going to get this v by itself first. So I subtract a 15b to both sides. And we have 4v equals 459, minus 15b. Divide both sides by 4 here. And v equals 459 divided by 4, which is 114.75, minus 15 divided by 4, which is 3.75. Don't be afraid of the decimals. Same process as always, just as with decimals. We now have v completely by itself here, and so we're going to use that and we're going to substitute that in for this v. So 7 times, bring over that 114.75 minus 3.75 b plus 10b equals 332. And now we have an equation with one variable, and let's go solve for it. First, we need to distribute. Again, same process as always. 7 times 114.75 is 803.25. 7 times negative 3.75, we have a minus 26.25, and that's b plus 10b equals 332. Now we can combine our like terms. Subtract an 803.25 to both sides. And that cancels out here. And we're left with on the right, well, 332 minus 803, okay, comes out to be a negative 471.25. And it's minus 803.25. Okay? Then we need to combine negative 26.25 and 10b. That comes out to be a negative 16.25 b. Divide both sides by negative 16.25. And b equals, well, the negatives cancel out to be a positive, and this actually comes out to be 29. So 29 students are on each bus. So let's find the number of students for each van. We take that 29 and we're plugging in for this b. So v equals 114.75 minus 3.75 times 29. Well, v equals 114.75 minus 3.75 times 29 is 108.75. V now equals 114.75 minus 108.75 is 6, and 6 students. So, our final answer here, the vans can hold 6 students and the buses can hold 29 students. Hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. This helps us make more free math lessons for you and for everyone else. So as always, thanks for watching.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.